welcome to today's live cast. I'm back on Tooting Common, and I think I was last here getting on for 2 months ago. And it's a fairly nice day, fairly nice sort of more autumnal kind of day nowadays, of course. A few people about. And today we're going to be doing another positive emotion meditation, and this one's going to be the Karuna Bhavna, which is the cultivation of compassion. Before I start, as I have been doing lately, I'm just going to talk a little bit about this part of London. So I'm on Tooting Common, which used to be called Tooting Beck Common. It's to the north of most of Tooting. And yes, there were a few sort of historical things about this part of the world that are of interest, I think. First of all, I'm not really that far from Balham here, and about the same distance as from Tooting. And Balham was, I believe, the home of, among other people, Daniel Defoe. That would be in the 18th century, I would imagine. He was actually a journalist, but he's, of course, most famous for writing the novel Robinson Crusoe. And you're probably familiar with that story of the shipwrecked hero on a desert island and discovering he has a companion there. Man Friday, he ends up calling him. That's Daniel Defoe, who lived fairly near here, for a while at least. Another famous personage who lived near here actually has a road named after him here, and that's Dr. Johnson. And quite near here, there's a Dr. Johnson Avenue, which essentially splits the common in half, Tooting Common. So I'm northeast of it. And it's named after the famous Dr. Johnson, who lived near here towards the end of his life. And he, of course, is the compiler of the famous dictionary, or the supervisor of the compilation of the famous English dictionary named after him, which I believe really is the first modern dictionary. As far as I understand it, he inaugurated certain techniques which were used from then on in the compilation of dictionaries. He had a team working under him, and in effect produced the first modern dictionary. And so a very famous, important person, again, 18th century. And he, towards the end of his life, lived with a family of London brewers, wealthy London brewers, called the Thrales. They lived at the other side of the common, towards sort of Streatham Vale and Mitcham. And there is a Thrale Road over that side. So he lived with them. And so a very famous resident of this part of the world, and quite important, really. So that's Dr. Johnson. And finally, an interesting fact about Dr. Johnson Avenue is that there is an avenue of trees along, as it's called avenue, it's lined with mostly oak trees. Some of these are very big and old. And the tradition goes that those really old trees were planted in around about 1600 to celebrate a visit by no less than Queen Elizabeth I to a local aristocrat who lived here. And she visited him pretty much the year before she died. So in honour of this, he had this avenue of oak trees planted, and some of them are said to still survive. And they actually line Dr. Johnson Avenue. So anyway, there's a little bit of history of this part of the world. So today we're going to be doing, as I said earlier, a Karuna Bhavna, which is a cultivation of compassion. And the format is the same as the other positive emotion meditations. It's in 5 stages. And as usual, for the first stage, we're going to be, before starting the meditation proper, we'll just be doing an awareness scan for about 10 minutes just to tune us in. And then, because we're cultivating compassion, for the first stage where we're focusing on ourselves, we're going to bring to mind a particular problem that we have at the moment. And we're just going to dwell on this, as well as staying with our overall awareness. But we're particularly focusing on this problem as we wish ourselves well. And I'll be introducing the phrase that we'll use to help us do that during the meditation. So that will be the first stage. For the second stage, we're going to be moving on to the good friend. But again, it would be really good if we can choose someone for this stage who's a good friend that we've known probably a while, but we're really looking for someone who we know has a particular difficulty in their life at the moment. So this could be something that's going on at the moment, or it could be an ongoing problem that they have, maybe a health issue or something like that. So we're going to bring our good friend to mind. We're going to wish them well at the same time as focusing on their particular issue that they have. So bearing that in mind, let's just take a moment to choose someone for this stage. So a good friend. And so I hope you found someone there for that stage. And so we then move on to the third stage of the meditation. And as usual, we're going to be bringing to mind someone we really don't know very well. We're reasonably familiar with them, but we don't really know them. We may see them in a shop, or there may be a neighbour, something like that. And so we're going to bring this person to mind and wish them well. And again, it would be really good if we could choose someone for this stage who we know has some kind of difficulty in their life. So again, it could be a disability of some kind, mental or physical, or just some particular issue that we know about that they have, probably something fairly obvious. And we're going to bring this to mind as we wish them well. Now, if you can't think of anyone like that, you'll just have to think of a neutral person and assume that, like most people, they probably do have difficulties in their lives. And we're just going to dwell on that fact as we wish them well. But preferably, we really are looking for someone with a fairly obvious difficulty that we can focus on for this stage. So bearing that in mind, let's just choose someone for this stage. So a more neutral person. Okay, so I hope you've found someone for that stage. We then move on to the fourth stage of the meditation, and as always, this is the stage where we're going to be bringing to mind someone we've actually got a problem with at the moment. So again, this is probably someone we know reasonably well. It could be a work colleague or maybe a relative, someone like that. but we have an issue with them at the moment. Now, again, it would be really good if we can find someone who we know has a particular difficulty in their life. And I would suggest that we're not thinking of someone where the main difficulty is us, because that's really going to bring in all kind of complications. We don't want to do that. So we're thinking of someone preferably who has a difficulty in their life, not related to us, something that they have to deal with. And we're going to bring that to mind as we see if we can wish this person well. Again, if we can't think of anyone like that, we'll just have to assume that this person, the difficult person, does have difficulties in their life, and we can bear that in mind as we wish them well. But preferably, we're looking for someone where we know that they have a specific difficulty. We know what it is. Bearing all of that in mind, let's choose someone for this stage. Okay. So I hope you found someone for that stage. For the final stage, we'll be bringing to mind more and more people, and particularly bearing in mind that just about all of these people probably will have some kind of problem, difficulty in their life. And so we're just going to bring that to mind as we wish them well. So that's the format of this meditation today. And before we start, as usual, I'll just mention our posture, which is very useful in meditation for helping us have a good meditation experience. The secret of a good posture, if you're sitting down, is to have an upright back, upright but relaxed. So if you're sitting in a chair, you might need to add some cushions to your chair, to the seat of the chair, maybe the back of the chair, to help you achieve this. So I'll just give you a moment to do that. We will have a chance during the meditation to review the people we're putting in the stages. So don't worry if you can't think of all three at the moment. We will review it during the meditation. So I hope you're sitting comfortably and maybe a fairly upright back, which will help. The other things to be aware of are the fact that you need your hands supported. So that can be on your legs or your lap or the arms of your chair if you're sitting down. By the way, it is possible to meditate laying down. You can do that. Generally, I would say it's somewhat better to be sitting upright, but it is possible if you've got health issues and so on to meditate while you're laying down. So you still should have a reasonably good meditation experience. The other thing we've got to look at, someone's coming over this way, don't know what's going on there, but we'll see what happens. Our eyes can be closed or partly open. And if your eyes are partly open, it's good to be looking slightly down. So let's start. This is going to be a approximately half an hour meditation on the cultivation of compassion, particularly for other people, in 5 stages. And to begin, we're just going to notice the sounds that we can hear. And now we're going to notice our visual experience. So if our eyes are closed, we will be seeing some kind of visual experience or having an experience visually. So we're just going to notice whatever that is. And now we can notice our sense of smell. And our sense of taste. And now we're going to briefly scan through our physical experience, starting from the top of the head and just bringing our awareness down through the body. So to begin, we can just notice the top of our head. And now we can become aware of our ears. And our face. And we can maybe relax the face. We can become aware of the back of our head. And now we can bring our awareness down to our neck and shoulders. And just relaxing the shoulders. We can notice our arms and hands. And now we can become aware of our chest and upper back. So we can notice our breathing. And we can notice our abdomen and lower back. Becoming aware of our lower body. And now becoming aware of our legs and feet. And the soles of our feet. And now we can expand our awareness to include all of the senses. So that's our hearing, our visual experience, sense of smell and taste, and our physical experience. And now we can become aware of how we feel at the moment. So, what's our emotional state? And we can notice our thoughts. We'll see that a thought arises, stays for a while, and then ceases. So another thought might arise. And we can also bring to mind the people we're going to be using in the stages. So that's our good friend, a more neutral person that we don't really know, and someone we've got a difficulty with at the moment. And we're particularly looking to see if we can choose people who we know have some kind of problem in their lives. And we can briefly just expand our awareness to include all of our experience. So our senses, how we feel, and our thoughts. And now we're going to bring to mind a particular problem that we have in our lives at the moment. And this could be an ongoing problem that we have or difficulty, or it could be something more specific, that an issue that we have at the moment. So we're just going to bring this to mind, whatever it is. And we're going to wish ourselves well, staying aware of this difficulty that we have. And to help do this, we can use a phrase silently. May I be well. May I be happy. And may I be free from suffering. And may this particular difficulty that I have either be reduced or have some kind of successful resolution. So we can say that silently to ourselves as we're focusing on this difficulty that we have, and also keeping a certain amount of awareness of our overall experience. So may I be well, may I be happy and free from suffering, and may this particular difficulty that I have either be reduced or may be successfully resolved. And now we're going to move on to the second stage of this meditation. And for this stage, we're bringing to mind a good friend. And so, first of all, we're trying to have as vivid a sense of them as we can. So, trying to really have a clear sense of their presence. And we're going to bring to mind some sort of difficulty that we know they have. So we're focusing particularly on this. So, how do we feel about this? And now we can wish our good friend well, and that their difficulty might be reduced, eased in some way. And we can again use the phrase, may you be well, may you be happy, and may you be free from suffering. And may your particular difficulty, whatever that is, or difficulties, be at least reduced or maybe successfully resolved. So we're now wishing our good friend well, bearing in mind any particular difficulties that they might have. and staying focused on them as vividly as we can. So may you be well, may you be happy, and may you be free from suffering, and may your difficulties be resolved or at least reduced. So we're staying with awareness of a good friend as we wish them well. And now we're moving on to the third stage of the meditation. So we're now going to bring to mind someone we really don't know very well. So we're now focusing as much as we can on this person and any difficulties that they might have. And again, we're going to wish this person well. And we can again use the phrase, may you be well, may you be happy, and may you be free from suffering. And may your difficulties, whatever they are, be either reduced or may be successfully resolved. So we're seeing if we can stay focused on this person as we wish them well. May you be well. May you be happy. And may you be free from suffering. And may your difficulties be at least reduced. And now we're going to move on to the next stage of the meditation, the penultimate stage. And this time it's going to get more interesting because we're bringing to mind someone we've got a problem with at the moment. So we're seeing if we can bring this person to mind again as vividly as we can. We can notice any emotional response we have to this person. And now we're going to bring to mind, if we can, a particular difficulty that this person has in their lives, maybe generally or more specifically at the moment. And so we're going to particularly focus on this. And whilst doing this, we're going to see if we can wish this person well. And we can again use that phrase, may you be well. May you be happy. And may you be free from suffering. And may your particular difficulty or difficulties be at least reduced and maybe even resolved successfully. So we're wishing this person well as far as we can, while bearing in mind any difficulties they might have, and just seeing if we can stay focused on them and their difficulties as we do this. Staying aware of our emotional state. And if our mind happens to wander, we just can gently bring it back to focus on this person and their difficulties as we wish them well. And so now we're going to move on to the final stage of this meditation. And first of all, we'll be bringing to mind the previous people and their difficulties. So that's ourselves, our good friend, the neutral person, and the difficult person. So we're bringing all of us to mind, and we can see if we can wish all of us well. So may we be well. May we be happy, and may we be free from suffering. And may our particular difficulties that we've been focusing on be successfully resolved, or at least reduced. And now we're going to begin to expand our awareness to include more and more people. So we may well begin with people that we know, other people that we know, particularly bringing to mind any difficulties that they might have, or the awareness that they probably will have some difficulties in their lives, as we wish them well. And as we do this, we're again staying in touch with particularly our emotional state and how we feel. So may you be well. May you be happy. And may you be free from suffering. And may your particular difficulties, whatever they are, be successfully resolved, or at least reduced. And so we're continuing to expand our awareness, to bring in awareness of more and more people. And this might include people in our locality, wishing them well. And we can just take this as far as we wish. So for now, we're expanding our awareness, bringing in awareness of more and more people, wishing them well, and particularly bearing in mind any difficulties that they might have. As we wish them well. So may you be well, may you be happy and free from suffering, and may your particular difficulties, whatever they are, be successfully resolved, or at least reduced, in some way. And we'll continue to do this for the last few moments of this meditation, continuing to expand our awareness and bringing in awareness of more and more people, and wishing them well. And so now we're just going to begin to think about bringing the meditation to a close. So we can just gradually relax our awareness, coming back to awareness of sitting in our seat, if we're sitting in a seat. And as always, we might like to reflect on how we feel having done this practice compared to how we felt at the beginning of the meditation. And so we bring this Karuna Bhavna, this meditation on the cultivation of compassion, to a close. So there we are. Well, that was a Karuna Bhavna session, and I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you contacted maybe a bit of compassion for some of the people you were bringing to mind. I find this meditation, it can be quite an energizing meditation, and I feel somewhat energized now after having done it here. It's quite a nice sort of autumnal day on Tooting Common here in South London. A sort of nice vibe, I think, sort of slightly energized. As always, if you did enjoy this session and you'd like to maybe give a donation, there is a facility on the homepage of my website which is sort of listed on Podbean. It's called positiveemotion.me. And if you go there on the homepage, there is a PayPal facility if you'd like to give a donation. So if you'd like to just give whatever you think this is worth, that would be gratefully received. Before I finish, I'm going to have a look at people's comments and maybe answer a few if I can. Oh, great. Well, a few people have joined me. That's nice. If you do have any questions about these sessions, you can post them on Podbean, or in some ways, what's better, what's easier for me is if you actually go to my website, if you've got specific questions, I've got a contact page there and you can send me an email and I'll do my best to answer any questions you've got. Or you could just send them on Podbean. So thanks to the people that did join me today. Nice to have your company. And I hope you join me again soon for another one of these sessions. So from Tooting Common, it's from me. Have a good week and bye for now.